Ink-a-dink, 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 ink-a-dink. Wow!
Your beauty sleep. Hey Basil, who's going to be our guest on the show today? Oh, okay. You're going to give me clues. Okay. 20 questions? No. Nope. Oh, you've got the Scrabble board here. Okay. And I said you've got some letters laid out on it. Okay, and the letters are giving me clues based on the letters in our guest's name. Okay. Alrighty. Well, let me see what we have here. Twisted CA Loon. Now, I'm kind of presuming that CA is California. Is that okay? Yep, Twisted California Loon. Okay. Alrighty. So, okay, I have no clue so far. Our guest is from California. Okay. Okay, that narrows it down to 30 million people. Okay, you're going to give me some clues that are partial bits of the guest's name. Okay. Ditto clown. Okay. Okay, ditto clown. Well, we've had some ditto clowns on the show so far since January. Okay, well, that's not much of a clue. Okay, another one. No wits. Okay. Okay, so our guest, part of his name can be rearranged into no wits. You're not helping much at this point. Try me again. Oh, okay. Salted coot. Okay, coot. Now that sounds like our guest would be someone who's on a bit in years. Okay. And a bit salty. Salted coot. Okay. Well, that's not really much help, Basil. Okay, one more clue, and I'll make it an easy one. You'll make it an easy one for me this time? Okay. So far we've got Twisted California Loon, we've got Ditto Clown, we've got No Wits, and we've got Salted Coot. And what will be the last clue? Oh, that makes it easy. Rowdy Yates. Okay. Well, it sounds like, oh, look at that. The letters in Twisted California Loon, son of a gun. Yeah. Those are the rearranged letters in the name Clint Eastwood. Okay. Okay, so how are we going to have Clint Eastwood here? Is he going to be... No, you're not going to give him the pleasure of actually coming on and speaking for himself. Okay, well, how are we going to talk with him? How are we going to communicate with Clint Eastwood? Basil says it's going to be kind of one way. Okay, okay. Good evening. Welcome to Basil BuddhaCat Presents. My name is David Stevenson. I'm Basil's co-host, chief interpreter, and chief gopher. Persistent. Okay, good evening, Basil BuddhaCat Presents. Okay. Oh, okay, Basil. It's, Tweety, check and see if this call is coming from Missouri. Yeah, Tweety says it's coming from Missouri. It's coming from Hannibal, Missouri. Now, well, Tweety says that he's got Mark Twain's personal cell phone number, but it's not that, not Mark's cell phone number. Okay. Let's find out who it is. Good evening, Basil BuddhaCat Presents. Basil, it's Todd Aiken. Okay. Okay. So what would you like to discuss with us, Mr. Aiken, Representative Aiken? Now, for you folks out there that aren't following the political scene, Todd Aiken is running for Senate, U.S. Senate in Missouri against Claire McCaskill, and he's been asked to resign from the race by the Republican Party. Now, hold on a second. I'm just trying to give a little explanation for the audience, Mr. Aiken. He's been asked to resign from the race by the Republican Party, by most everyone in the Republican Party, except maybe, well, most everybody in the Republican Party, because he made a remark about something about rape, and he heard, he says, from some doctors that told him that a woman who is raped can't get pregnant, almost never can get pregnant, because there's a mechanism that kicks in that prevents pregnancy in the case of rape. Okay. Now, Mr. Aiken is explaining that really, in fact, all he did was reiterate the Republican National Party platform on women's issues, women's right to choose. And, okay, well, that's not exactly how he puts it. He puts it as he's reiterating the Republican National Party's platform on women who wear tight-fitting, provocative clothing and act like they deserve it. Okay, well that's pretty crude, but pretty much is. Apparently, Mr. Aiken, along with Paul Ryan, Representative Paul Ryan, who's the Republican vice presidential candidate, Paul Ryan, co-sponsored a bill in the House of Representatives to redefine rape and try to redefine. Now, correct me if I'm wrong on any of this, Mr. Aiken. Okay, says so far so good. They actually co-sponsored a bill that didn't go very far in the House of Representatives, but would have redefined rape and talk about forcible rape as if there's some other type of rape, as if there's somewhere there's non-forcible rape. Okay, so you feel like all you did was in fact repeat and verbalize your party's national platform plank on women's reproductive rights. And again, he's wants a different choice of word than reproductive rights, obviously. But so anyway, so that's it, huh? Okay, well, if we can get Mr. Eastwood or his or whoever we choose to speak for him to weigh in on that, maybe he'll have something to say. Okay, thanks for calling. Okay, so now we have a non-guest guest, Clint Eastwood, and how exactly are we going to approach this, Basil? How exactly are we going to do this? Basil says he's got some questions for Mr. Eastwood, but since Mr. Eastwood's not here, Basil will give the answers and the questions. Okay, first of all, what question do you want to ask Mr. Eastwood? What do you want to talk to him about? Basil says, first of all, Mr. Eastwood seemed to forget that it's President Obama, not Obama, not Mr. Obama, not Shoeshine Boy Obama, but it's President Obama. And he holds a certain office that desires and deserves a certain degree of respect. Okay, fair enough. Now, okay, Basil wants me to say the question in cat for you folks in the audience that speak cat. And again, remember, kids, very important to remember that you really need to learn to speak cat. for a number of reasons. First of all, there are more households in America that have a cat than there are households with a speaker of Italian, speaker of virtually every language. There are more households that have a member that speak cat. So it makes sense that kids, you should learn to speak the language of your favorite pet. Now, if you have a cat and a dog, we're still speaking about the cat, of course. But you should learn to speak cat so you can understand what's going on in their world, and they don't have to do stuff to let you know what they want, like claw you and climb you and jump on you and send a little nonverbal communication to you. Okay, here's the question Basil has for Clint Eastwood. Okay. Now I'll say it again in English. Hey, what gives, jerk? Come on, what's going on? Did I get that right? Okay. And now Basil, without reference to the answer Clint Eastwood would give in cat, because he doesn't think Clint's quite, well, ditto clown, no wits, salted coot, take your pick. Twisted California loon. He probably can't speak cat anyway, so Basil's not going to waste his time with that. But Basil's going to give his presumed reply from Clint Eastwood. Okay. He says, look, I was born here in America. Okay. Yeah. Now, are you going to follow that up, Basil, with something about asking Mr. Eastwood if that's a reference to where he suspects that President Obama was born? No, he didn't say that. No. Basil's saying that Clint Eastwood's answering. No, he did. That's not what he meant at all. Don't read into what he's saying. He's just saying that, hey, he was born in America and is proud of it. The land of the free, the home of the brave. A long way from any place that anyone currently president of the United States may or may not have been born. Okay. Now, Basil's telling me that he's channeling Clint Eastwood at this moment, and Clint Eastwood apparently is there's some smoke coming out of his ears. Let's put it that way. And Basil's telling me that the Clint Eastwood is really pretty irate about the fact that he doesn't get a chance to speak for himself. Okay, fair enough. Yep. Okay. Yep. Apparently, what's good for the loon, though, Basil says, what's good for the loon, whether it be Twisted California loon or not, is good for the gander. Okay. So, okay, hold on a second, Basil. It's a good idea. Okay, I'm going to take a little break here. Good idea. We have our dishes, of course. So what else do you want to talk about with Clint Eastwood? Okay, hold on. Good evening, Basil BuddhaCat presents. Oh, okay. Basil, it's Tweety. Could you check this one out and see if it's coming from the home of one Clint Eastwood? Okay. Yep. Tweety says it is. Tweety says we actually have the live, real Clint Eastwood on the line. And do you have something to add to the conversation, Clint? Or should I call you Mr. Eastwood? Says you can call me Dirty Harry, and I'm going to come dirty up your Harry. Okay. We're not particularly afraid of you, Mr. Eastwood, but go ahead, keep going. You got a lot of explaining to do for what seems to be what people describe as being. No, I'll describe it as being just a crazy, foolish attempt at humor. Okay, Clint is telling me that he wasn't out to do anything other than to differentiate between a clean-cut guy from Michigan, Mitt Romney, and a wild-eyed, socialistic, communistic, Marxistic president. Okay. Now, when you say socialistic, now you said socialistic, but I'll correct you on that. When you say socialist, would you mind defining socialism? Okay. He says it's the opposite of what he is. And I guess we could take that as being that you're an anti-socialist. Now there's steam coming out of the phone. Okay, no. What we're taking you to task on, Clint, is that you really ought to stop pretending that the President of the United States is anything other than a capitalist who happens to be black. Okay? Okay. Clint says he never even noticed he was black because he watches the Colbert Report, and he says on the Colbert Report, Stephen Colbert doesn't see color, and gosh darn it, neither does Clint Eastwood. Okay. Now, we'll get back to you on this, Mr. Eastwood. We'll get you back on the show at a future date, but I think today the chair belongs to your chair, and Basil's chair belong to Basil. Okay. Talk to you later. Bye. He's not real happy about this, and I don't know why, because apparently, like you said, Basil, what's good for the loon is certainly good for the gander. And Clint, take a gander at this. Go ahead, Basil. Okay. Basil says, and I'll say it in cat because we've gotten informed to do this so we can talk to the members of the audience who are cats. And the one dog out there who says he speaks cat, but as Basil explained, he only knows a couple of words out of the 937,812 words in the cat language. Okay, Basil says that, in fact, Clint Eastwood is, as honestly speaking, a lot of folks in Hollywood, a lot of folks that are the Hollywood elite. He's a little bit narcissistic. He thinks that everything he does is humorous or interesting or captivating. But in fact, Clint's a good actor. Credit for that. He's done a lot of good movies, directed movies, he's acted in movies. He's been prolific in the area of entertainment. But that doesn't qualify him to act as a spokesman in talking about the President of the United States. Basil says we leave that to Ted Nugent. and his firebrand kind of humor and zaniness. Okay, fair enough. Do you want to continue this on, Basil? There's more to talk about here. Okay. Okay, hold on. Good evening, Basil BuddhaCat presents. Okay. It's Tweety. I think we've seen this number before. You've got it up there. You're showing it to us. It's Newt Gingrich. Okay. Okay. Yep. Okay, Mr. Gingrich. Thank you for calling in. Just something to add to the conversation. Okay. Newt Gingrich, who's a fairly intellectual guy. At least he's book smart. Let's put it that way. He's well read, knowledgeable, speaks well, and apparently he doesn't make the kind of gaffes that most of the other Republican presidential candidates this year were prone to, including candidate Mitt Romney. Mr. Gingrich is saying that it's a darn shame that this guy is the standard bearer for the Republican Party this year. Says he likes Paul Ryan, and in fact, there's a closet group out there already that are trying to slip Mitt Romney a Mickey once he takes the office if he wins. Okay. Okay. Fair enough. Thanks for calling. Little cabal going on. Now, Basil, you got a chance to see the convention in Tampa. You saw a little bit of it on television, and you sent Basil, who's with us tonight. Basil from Sanford, Florida. Got hitched a quick ride over to Tampa from where he lives, and apparently noticed a lot of things going on outside the convention that never seemed to make it onto the well-orchestrated TV media show that was the Republican National Convention. Says there were a lot of folks out there outside the convention hall that were complaining about a lot of things. They said they complained about the fact that Todd Akin was not allowed in. They complained very hard about the fact that Ron Paul was given no part in the convention. Didn't get a chance to talk about the things that they believe in, that they think Mitt Romney doesn't believe in, and they used the word sham. And I think it's safe to say the same way that progressive Democrats talk about members in their party, some of them, some of the candidates that make it into the power structure in America, that they're not really very representative of progressive Democrats at all. That they don't really. What's that, Basil? Oh, okay. Basil says I'm going on a little too long here about that. But anyway, Basil wants it known that he still feels like of all the candidates running on the Republican side this year, that the one that seemed the most honest, the most heartfelt, that seemed to believe sincerely in what he was talking about was Ron Paul. And Basil thinks it's unfortunate to hear back from our shelf Basil here that the Republican Party, the corporate Republican Party, ran a very well orchestrated convention and pretty much kept out all the folks that they'll use in November for votes by telling them that they don't want to vote for that communistic, socialistic, whatever guy in the White House. And you could read that as saying black. They'll use those folks in November for votes, but they really won't ever represent that part of the Republican Party. So at any rate, Basil, we're gonna come back again Sunday morning, and Basil says next time Waltress climbs up, just let her get back down quickly, because this is Basil's show, he says, and he doesn't need to have call-ins or visitations, even in Basil's own home, from Waltress or Lilith or any other cats. He's says it's his show. It's nice to be here in the house. Nice to have his pillow. Nice to have his special blanket, and that's the way he wants to keep it. So this has been Basil BuddhaCat Presents. I'm David Stevenson, Basil's co-host, chief interpreter, and big-time gopher. Okay, thanks for joining us. Good evening.
They say they'd rob your grandma blind on Wall Street, on Wall Street. Fritter her away her Medicare on Wall Street. And Pharma Oil and their pet fox don't care if she lives in a box, so long as they wear platinum jocks on Wall Street, on Wall Street. Meow.